Okay, folks, listen. Today I'm making my grandmama's biscuits and gravy, right? But this time I went ahead and leveled up the biscuits. Listen, super easy, and as you can see, I got some ingredients right here, right? So these ingredients are on my website, along with the full printable recipe with the direction, folks. And that's Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com. Now, what I'm getting ready to do is I'm finna start by, getting my bacon bits together, right? Because we're gonna put bacon inside the biscuits. Super easy, but I want you guys to pay attention. Listen, this is the beef bacon I've been talking about in all of these videos right here. This is from Porter Road. You guys gotta get this right here. Super good. You can use pork if you have pork, but I suggest you guys go ahead and get yourself some of this right here, and this will change the way you look at it. Okay, so look, this right here is gonna be more like a little dump and go, right? You wanna just take all of your ingredients that you have, that you measured out, right? We just wanna put them in a bowl, right? No right way or wrong way. And then you wanna just add yourself about a cup of the cheese, right? This is what we wanna do. Just whisk it all together, get it combined. Don't forget we put those other ingredients in there. Okay, so now you just wanna go ahead and just add in your parsley, and then you wanna put your bacon in there. Now we get down to the interesting part, right? Listen, you wanna get yourself about 3/4 cup of butter, but check this out, we gonna grate it, right? So I'm gonna bring this over here. I'm gonna find you find the size grate that you wanna use, and then we just grate it. Listen, this is key. Your butter needs to be frozen. Now, once you got it done, I'm not finished yet. I still gotta add a little bit to it. I gotta grate a little bit more, but what I'm gonna do is just make a little bit of room, right? So we just put this in here just like that, right? So now you guys get to see what it looks like. You see that? What we wanna do is, I'm just gonna take my little wooden spoon here and just kind of just fold it over. You know what I mean? We don't wanna beat it up. And of course it's gonna start to become room temperature, right? Okay, so look, I'll just make a little indentation here in the middle. Right, that's cool. You don't have to do that, but I like doing that, especially when you're making your video so you can see it. Now this is my buttermilk. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just add that in there just like that. Kind of just work it in, just like this. Now what we're doing is making a dough, folks. If we haven't said that already, or you guys haven't figured it out. But you see how I'm just folding this over just like this? You know what I mean? It's starting to absorb. Now this is gonna turn into a ball of dough. So I done cleaned up all of my surroundings right here, because I'm gonna be using this slate right here, my countertop. This is where we're gonna kind of make it, make the dough, right? So I'm gonna put a little flour down, but I just wanna show you, when you get to this consistency right here, look at this. You see that right there? You see how that is? This is what I'm saying. When it starts to look like this, it won't all be mixed as of yet, but it will be in just a minute. We put this down so nothing sticks, right? I think I'm gonna go with a third one, right? And this is where we're gonna make the dough ball. Now I get in here with my hand first and kind of just work it so I can get me a ball, right? Now I'm gonna take it, drop it right there where you put the flour at. And here, you don't wanna overwork it, right? You want it to be flaky. So I want you guys to pay attention to the way I'm gonna do this, right? So, just bring it over. There's a lot of moisture in here, so we gotta get it to at least adhere so that it doesn't crack up, right? So when I have it, then I take it and I fold it over and I just give it a little, trying not to overwork it, right? And I'm gonna bring it over this way again. And when I see it breaking like that, that tells me we're about ready. I got it, now I'm just gonna roll this out. You don't need a whole lot of pressure in the very beginning because it's gonna spread, right? So then you come across this way. This is the way I found it to be the best. And when I see these cracks like this, that tell me these are gonna be nice and flaky, folks. Right, so I'm looking at my thickness, I look at that. I say that's good enough, Just getting a little that going. You're gonna need to get yourself a baking sheet, right? So look, I got a silicone, mat in here, so I don't have to really do nothing to it, right? You guys use parchment paper, yeah, that's okay too. So now we just take it, I'm gonna work closest to myself. I'm gonna come to the edge where I see this at right here, and then all I do is I just push down, right? When I lift up, usually it sticks. But if it doesn't, it's okay. We help it out. Look at that right there. Look, that's what you want to get, right? So I'll just set that right there. Got to give it some room to, expand and grow. But I'm going to suggest that now would be a good time for us to hit the bake. We're going to preheat 450 degrees. We start that. Now we put this in the freezer, and I'll see you after 15 minutes. All right, so listen, my timer went off. It's been 15 minutes. Your tray going to be nice and cold, but if I pick one of these up like this, look, you can feel that they kind of just firm up, right? That's gonna be key, because we don't wanna overcook them while we have them in here for 450 degrees. Now, if you guys can see right now, I'm ready to go. Now we finna put these in the oven for 14 to 17 minutes, right? So I'm gonna open these up, put these in there. Let me get one in my hand now so we can keep that heat in there, and let's go. Listen, I got a little heat under the bottom. I'll show you guys right now. I got a little medium flame going. I'm heating up my pan, right? I can put a dash of a little bit of olive oil in here, just a dash, you know what I mean? You don't need to, because listen, we're dealing with pork. Now this is an Italian mild sausage right here, got a lot of flavor in here, but I'm gonna season this up my way. You guys do whatever you wanna do on your end, right? Now you know I like to have that little bit of that Creole flavor on just about everything, right? So I use that Creole kick, or I can use my seasoning. That give it a nice little unique flavor, blends very, very well with a mild Italian sausage, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get this off. Let's get this little paper off the bottom. We got a little heat in this. We drop this in and we let that work. Okay, so look, if you pay attention right here, listen, I left it down there, you know, flat like that, just sort of form like a little bit of a crust. But you know what? I guess it doesn't make sense because we're gonna, you know, break it down and do it like that, right? Now, when I put the butter in there, that's just like adding a little bit more flavor. You can add a little bit more of extra virgin olive oil or regular olive oil, whatever. You know what I mean? And then after you got everything brown, then you want to come with your, you know, your flour, right? So as you can see a little bit of juice in there, but you got to believe me when I tell you, look, the pork, the sausage is, you know, full of flavor, and that's where all the moisture is, right? So now we want to put the flour in there, and then what we do is we cook the flour taste out and get everything, you know, to become absorbent. You shouldn't see any white right here. Now, right here, look, this is what I'm doing. Look, I started adding my thyme, you know, and anything you want to do to level up anything from here on, you can. You can see that I got that Creole kick over there. Obviously, I'm gonna use that. But you know what? When you say, you know, biscuits and gravy, you know you gotta have that pepper, right? So now adding the Creole kick on here, this is the flavor that I was trying to achieve. Now I like to use that, or I like to use my seasoning. Most of you guys have that already. If you don't, run out and copy it. It'll give you 2 different flavors, right? So listen, now that we have everything, you know, absorbed, then we come with that milk, right? And with that flour, look at this right here, folks. I'm gonna be quiet and let you guys just enjoy this right here. But this is what thickens it up. Add this, bring it to a simmer, and don't worry, it'll thicken up on its own. Look at that right there. And just wait till I show it to you again. Now, look at these biscuits right here. This is what I'm talking about. Now listen, remember we put them in the freezer? Look, that slowed them down from cooking so much so they don't get so crispy around the edges. But look at that, golden brown. You can see the bacon and all of that. And remember I said I was gonna come back to this? Look at there. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Shh, let your mind work. So listen, there you have it. It's all right there for you. A lot of times we hadn't even ever made this before. You know what I mean? Super easy to make. You know what I mean? A lot of talking, but I had to do that so I can explain it and show the steps, right? But I can tell you this right now. When I go ahead and hit it like that, get a little bit of this gravy, get a little bit of that. Uh-oh, we dropped a little bit. Get a little bit of that biscuit, and cheers, y'all. This right here is fire, folks. Listen, I'm not finna hold you guys. Now you guys know how to do it. Make this. Make sure you serve your parents, your grandparents, and if you're fortunate enough to have your great-grandparents, serve them this too, and tell me what they think. Now, with that being said, listen, if you're new to my channel, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and tell everybody out there. There's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. Now it's time for me to get that tall glass of ice-cold milk, and I'm out.